As I already mentioned, sometimes I played Infinity Nikki now 170 hours. Gosh. And one of the first dresses I was quite impressed by, or that I liked quite a lot, is this one. And my Nikki wore that quite a lot in the beginning. I now want to recreate something similar because I do like this dress quite a lot, but what I don't like is, first of all, it's too short for my liking with the bloomers underneath. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I want to make it longer. And basically the top skirt ending knee length, and then the second layer more or less T-length. I think T-length is calf, middle, center of the lower leg. That's the idea. Then, on the original dress, first of all, we have rose embroideries. I'm skipping those. Second, we have a transparent fabric on the top that is more like crisscross lines, like that. And I am going to use lace instead. So, that means we have the base dress. The original dress does have a shirt waist opening on the top. I do want to make a back opening. So I want to have this line here, and I want to do some piping here. I initially wanted to do a nice green, but the green I have is a bit thin, I fear. It is a 6mm ribbon, I think. But maybe it will work. Then as a ribbon here, and maybe I just layer 2 or something, then this part will get quite loose. I initially thought I would like to do a circle skirt, but yeah, I'm not sure about that right now because it might get too voluminous. Maybe I make more like an A-line skirt, but that I start like this and then go more out like this. So we basically still have the circle idea, but we lose a lot of material here at the hip area. I'm not sure. I might try it with a circle skirt first, and if that doesn't look right, if that is too voluminous, I do this one. Otherwise, I want to put a ribbon here. I might want to put ribbons here. And then this part here will be lace with possibly something underneath, something like some tulle, some net, something to stabilize the lace a little bit, but still have the lace shine through or be the dominant part. The rest of the dress will be completely made out of a white cotton. So then the sleeves, I want to have the white fabric as well, but those will get some lace as well. That's basically the dress I want to make. What we need for this is basically a top part of the pattern, which is like this, and 2 times, once out of tulle, once out of lace. Then we have the lower part. I am going to do this more like this. So a little bit tapered in at the sides, but not enough to really bring that in. We basically do the same, but I want to go a bit more like this in the back. So you see a little bit more of skin. That means that the rest is basically the same curve. For the sleeves, we need to go wider than they would be to just ruffle in the top here. And for the top row of the sleeve, we go like this. This will be ruffled, and then the lower part, I assume I am going to do just one, where you have a shape like this. Anyway, then the skirt, as I said, we need two possible ways. Either we make a circle skirt where the first one is the waist is a little bit off center, so you have the front is shorter than the back, so we have a situation like this. And the underneath part is basically, yeah, the same, but a little bit longer and a little bit less off center. So, and if you sat through all of this explanation, did you ever know that you're my hero? I can't believe it took me 6.5 minutes to explain what I want to do. I decided to go this route because I thought maybe for someone who is interested in how I made this dress, wants to know these details, you could tell me in the comments below if you think this approach is nice and I should do it again, or just show us the dress and shut up. Yeah. The next video that will come quite soon will be exactly like this because I filmed it in advance. But yeah, let me know if you like it like this and if you want me to continue making videos like this, so you have a little bit more in-depth what I was doing. Anyway, let's talk about what I exactly was doing there. Just to give you a quick overview, I started by attaching the two front pieces, the top and the bottom, together with the piping. I did the same for the back, and then I closed the shoulder seams for the front and the back seam, or front and the back piece, that they are together at the shoulders. Then I started with the skirt. First I cut a long strip of fabric with a zigzag stitch, stitched it more or less together, and ruffled it, attached it to the circle skirt, layered the two skirts on top after everything was attached and top stitched and whatsoever, and noticed far too much fabric. Far too much. So I did cut away the first part. Later, when I thought I was nearly done with the dress, when I had to close the back seam, I decided to even cut away more. So, in total, I reduced the circle skirt to half a circle skirt, roughly. So I wasted quite a lot of fabric. Lucky for me, I had to do the sleeves 3 times before I was satisfied. The first sleeve was, as I told you that I want to do it, that looked too stiff. The second sleeve I then just ruffled the lower fabric as well. That didn't look right either. Then I attached a little bit of net fabric that I still had left over, but because I wasn't able to find my lace, I have some lace that has net, or is stitched onto net, but was not able to find it. So I then had to stitch on other lace onto the net fabric to get a translucent feel to it. While I was doing all of this, I then noticed that the first version of the sleeve looked quite nice if you do it as a tight sleeve at the bottom. So I decided to change the whole plan and make a 3-part set. We now have a spaghetti strap dress. I made a complete new top for it that is attached to the skirt. Then we have the one with the translucent sleeves and the green ribbon, which is more like the original. And we have one with a jacket that I wanted to cross a bit more on top of each other, but it's nice how it is. It's fine how it is. And there I have black ribbons on now. So we have 3 options. Oh, and the other jacket closes in the front. You will see it in the pictures in the end. Yay! Because I was in the mood, I already did create some hair accessories by cutting an old comb from my mother into pieces, and then I drilled some holes in them. These are just glued with first jewelry glue, then UV resin, and this is all with wire wrapped around, and yeah. And oh yeah, this one was a brooch, I think, and I did put this hair clip thingamajig on there, so you can use it for hair now. Anyway, I keep that open just because I'm not sure if the tension might destroy this again. Anyway, that was just something I wanted to show in between. We now have Gwen here. Well, she is already wearing one of the versions, and oh yes, she has yet another piece I made. It's just a lace ribbon, and then we have some more ribbons with these crystal beads and some flowers in there. And it's very simple. I just pin it in to this kind of hairstyle. Can you see it? So, 2 strands from the front gathered together and then pinned in. Anyway, I need to destroy that now because we need access to her head. To give you an explanation for all of this, I have these 2 huge 1:3 scale dolls, and both of them are basically the same, and after I repainted them, the first one got the name Aliena, this one we are working on now got the name Gwendolyn, and I decided they are sisters. Yes, sometimes I do stuff like that. And when I found exactly the same hats again on eBay, I bought first 2 of them, then 2 more. I now have 2 spare hats per doll, and I want to repaint them in a way so they still look similar to the original repaint, but a little bit more fancy with each repaint. Now comes the creepiest part. I now have a box of hats. I created this thing out of an old wine box and some foam core board and fabric. So now I have a box where I can store the spare hats. Anyway, yeah, because when I made Gwendolyn, I wanted her to look like the traditional medieval beauty, and you might want to watch her first video, which I will link in the info card now. But yeah, my goal was to make a medieval beauty and following medieval beauty standards, and in medieval times being looking slightly red in the face seems to be very en vogue. So Gwendolyn is quite red face-wise. The original repaint. And I wanted to keep that, but I wanted to make it a little bit less looking as if she has fever. The original face will stay like it is, but this new one I wanted still to have this flushed appearance, as if she has blushed quite a lot, but not as if she is fighting an illness. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting to do, because I now have pan pastels. I didn't have them back then, so completely different materials. But I'm quite happy with her result. I decided to give her a little bit of a brownish makeup and stay nearly completely in brown tones, because I decided that Aliena will have more redness and always brown lashes and more a dark brown eyeliner than a black one, while did I say Aliena or Gwendolyn? Anyway, Aliena will have black lashes and freckles, Gwendolyn redness and brown lashes. So, and Aliena will wear the more risque outfits, while Gwendolyn is always a little bit more demure and shy. Yes, they did get personalities by their clothes. Or just because of what they are wearing. Because why not at this point? And yeah, overall I decided to have fun with this repaint, and yeah, I think I like where we ended up. And after I glued the lashes on and everything, I put her old eyes back in. I initially made new ones, but they were a disaster because as soon as they were in, they looked completely dark, and she looked very creepy, let's face it. And yeah, I then just changed the eyes back to the old ones, dressed her, and I have to say I am very pleased with the result. Before we look at some final before we look at the final pictures, some final thoughts. The patterns did work quite nicely as I thought they would. The sleeves only worked as soon as I made them out of tulle fabric, so they needed to be very fine, otherwise they were far too bulky. And in the end I think I used only a half circle for the skirt, so I did cut away quite a lot of it. But I think I achieved what I wanted. I am still happy about the decision to make the top and the bottom separate, so that I have a dress and now 2 jackets. And it, in my opinion, it does look similar enough so you can still see where I was coming from. So let's take a look at, once again, the original, and I did style it, or try to style it, in Infinity Nikki, similar to how I styled the doll in the end. I think it turned out quite nicely. So I hope you did enjoy this kind of video, and we will see us in another one. Until then, bye.